I always say what you put into something is exactly what you will get out of it, right? So, a couple of things for today. What I would love for you to do is kind of take today as if you can get one or two moments of like, aha, that's where I want you to write it down and go, that's what I'm going to implement. Sometimes we go to trainings or we go to seminars and we have our heads down the whole time and we just write notes and write notes and write notes. And then we kind of look at the whole thing and we feel everything is created as equal. What I want you to do is wait for that moment where it kind of punches you in the gut and go, that's what I'm going to walk away and I'm going to implement. So instead of feeling like we're going to walk away and have to implement everything, you're going to get a lot of value today. You're going to get a lot of nuggets. So I want you to wait for that moment where you go, yeah, that's what I came here for. Okay. The other thing that I want you to understand is you might not hear anything where you're like, that was brand new. Oh my gosh, like that was exactly like completely different from everything I heard. And whoa, she gave me the secret sauce, right? Because we all are looking for that secret sauce. We're all looking for that one thing that's going to change our business. We all want to get on the elevator and not take the stairs. So instead of saying to yourself today, I already know that, I want you to ask yourself, how well do I do that? Huge difference. Okay. Huge difference. I already know that versus how well do I do that? Now you are going to get some new things from me today. You're going to get a lot of great ideas, I promise. But I want you to ask yourself that. All right. So what today is going to look like is we're going to go through 10 power moves that you can implement immediately to cut out the chaos. At the end of this, I am going to go ahead and share a discount code for those of you that are interested in my Break Free program. I'm offering a $500 discount off of my Break Free program. And that will be good through, well, we actually extended it for a week because of the Labor Day weekend. And I was looking at my availability for discovery calls and I was like, whoa, okay, we've got to do this for a week. And so that will be happening. We'll give you that code at the end. I just filled my last one-on-one spot. So Break Free, if that's what you want to get into as my coaching, that is what's available, which is an incredible program. You're also going to hear from a couple clients of mine too as well today. So we'll just have some short client interviews for you to be able to hear from a couple people too. So you'll get a ton of value. If you do have questions throughout this, put them in the chat. Every now and then I'll stop and I'll go through it. And so, and then Josh, if we start to get questions, if you would, and you find that I need to stop myself because I'm getting on a roll or something, or there's a consistent question, if you'll interrupt me, that would be fantastic. Good. All right. Everybody ready to get rolling? Here we go. All right. Number one, we've got 10 of them, 10 power moves. Okay. Number one, work with the motivated. Work with those who are qualified only. How many times do we act as door openers? How many times do we get that call where I'm just going to go just this once? They could turn into a client. You just never know. They might turn into a client. If I could just show my great personality in person, I'll just have them sign the buyer agency in the driveway. Come on now. Right? And then we go, I don't know why they ghosted me. I don't know. I just drove a half hour to the listing. I went to look at that buy. I went to show a buyer home. And they just ghosted me. I never heard from them again. That is working out of fear. Don't be a door opener. Work with the qualified. Okay. So a lot of times we'll get a phone call, we'll get a sign call, or someone in our sphere will say, hey, I want to go see a house. And we might ask one or two questions. Are you working with another agent? Have you been pre-approved for a loan? Okay, cool. I'm on my way. If you do not have this practice, I can guarantee all of you can think of someone in your office that is doing this. And that is the agent who is running around like a chicken with their head cut off because they're so busy. And at the other end of their mouth, they're complaining about how broke they are. When you work with the unqualified, this is a recipe for being broke and busy. Okay, so how do we qualify? We have to set a new standard. Okay, so first of all, we have to know their time frame. How motivated are they? If they're 6 months out, why are we showing them homes? Well, I'm telling you right now, as a listing agent, if I got feedback from an agent and they said, well, they're not quite ready to move. They're about 6 months out. That agent would be getting a phone call from me. You mean to tell me I just had my seller get their house ready, get the dogs out, get the kids out, get out for a showing, get 3 hours preparing for the showing, and they're not even ready to buy? You just worked with an unqualified buyer? Someone who's not ready? And you let them go through my listing? Okay. What's their time frame? Are they ready to write an offer now? Can they write an offer? Are they motivated? Proof. Do they have a pre-approval letter or proof of funds? Listen here. Do we have the ability in this industry to make attorney income? Do we have the ability in this industry to make physician income? Yes, if we treat it like professionals. If we treat it like professionals. If I were to call my attorney and say, I need you to show up in court for me and represent me, my attorney is going to say, I need to do a consultation with you. I need to know if I want to work with you. And I need a retainer. I need to know how I'm going to be paid. What attorney is just going to go, oh, okay, yeah, I'll show up in court tomorrow? A broke and desperate attorney. And we do this. That's what we do. Okay, I'll be right there. You call a doctor. Hey, doc, haven't ever met you. You don't know anything about me, but I need you to write me a prescription. First of all, you going to get that doctor on the phone? No. They need to know what's your insurance? How are you paying? Set an appointment. We need to do a consultation. We need to qualify you. Qualify. We have to qualify. Okay. We have to ask, have you seen the inside of any other homes? We aren't even asking that. How are you seeing the inside of other homes? Meaning, are you working with someone else? And by the way, I need to set an appointment with you. I need to do a consultation with you because you cannot fully work for your clients without a consultation. How can you fully represent a client without being a consultant, without knowing exactly what they're looking for? How can you go out and find off-market properties? How can you network with other agents? How can you be actively in the market, talking to buyers and sellers, and marry the two together if you don't know exactly what it is that they want? And P.S., why would you if you don't have them under contract? Work for your clients, and they should want you to work for them if you know what value you bring. Okay? Number one is work with the motivated, the qualified only. Do not be a door opener. You are a professional. Now, that does not mean that if they're further out than 90 days, oh, by the way, we can absolutely create a pipeline. We want to create a pipeline. That's a beautiful way to build a business. But we are not getting out there with them until they're ready. Does that make sense? Protect your time. Anyone ever turn down a listing because you're way too far apart on price? Yeah, by the way, up until about 3 weeks ago, my highest price that I was off with a seller was 150,000. About 3 weeks ago, it was about 300,000 off. Think I'm okay not getting hired? Yeah. I'm not taking the listing. Someone else will happily put a sign in your yard and pick up buyers and just say that they have a listing. I work with the motivated. I list your house to sell it. I have to be able to sell it in order to take it. I work with the motivated. If you're not motivated to sell it, you're not qualified to work with me. Okay. Okay. Number two, have a no jerks policy. I did have a different word for that, but I changed it. Don't work with jerks. Don't work with energy suckers. There is a reason I have a conversation with my clients before I ask them to be clients. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay. No commission check is worth your sanity. No commission check is worth your sanity. Now, has anybody ever sat across the table with a client and you just know in your gut, like this is not a fit? And you just do not want to take it, and you do. That's working out of fear. When we do that, all of the energy is sucked out of us. What do we have left to give to the clients that we're in alignment with? How many times do we complain about someone who's sucking all the energy out of us? How many times do we have, now I'm not talking about a client who is like maybe a little bit more high maintenance or has more demands and needs. I'm talking about jerks, straight up people that do not respect you. Make sense? Okay. Like you have to know your core values. You have to know what you will and will not tolerate. So I want you to kind of think right now and journal for a second. What are you tolerating right now in your business? Because you're afraid to lose the deal. What are you tolerating out of fear? The opportunity cost is way too high. I'm going to look real quick. How do you explain to that client that you do not want to work with them in a professional and respectful way? I like to tell people that we are not a good fit, but I can find them a better one. Okay, how do you tell people that we're not? It would have to depend on the situation, truly. And so, is it Jocelyn that asked that? Jocelyn, can you unmute yourself for a second? I'm going to have you unmute for a minute.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Give me just a quick briefing of the situation. Is it a client? Just really quickly.
It's not a situation to myself. It's more of like in the future reference if I do have somebody's, a client's personality that doesn't really match with mine and I'm face to face with them. Like how would you break that down to them in a way that just says, I don't think it's gonna work between us. Maybe if they're like persistent, like I want to do this, I want to do that, and then you're sitting there wide eyed, like, oh, I know this is not going to work. How would you include that in,
Ah,
ways?
okay. I'll tell you what, Jocelyn, I'm going to cover that for you on number 4.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay. And if I don't cover it for you clearly on number 4, raise your hand and let me know that it's still not clear. Fair?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right. Cool. All right. I'm glad there was, if there was a specific situation, I wanted to make sure I addressed it for you. Okay. Number 3, work by appointment. Work by appointment. If I asked you, what are your priorities? There are 2 ways that I will be able to tell without you telling me. Here's how I can tell. And this might hit hard for some of you. Look at your calendar and look at your bank account. How you spend your money and how you spend your time is very telling about what your priorities are. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. Have you ever been told you're a priority by someone? Ah, yeah, you're a priority. Hmm. But you don't feel it? Why don't you feel it? You need them to prove it to you? You need them to show it? How do they show it? Oh, yeah, that's a priority. I'll put that, yep, I'll make that top priority. How do you know if it's a top priority? Yeah. Calendar. Your calendar must reflect it. Now, here's the thing. If you were to look at your calendar right now, does it reflect your top priorities? Would you see family or maybe room for health or setting appointments and being on appointments? Um, because here's what happens. Everything that matters must be an appointment. All right. I want you to think about this for a minute. You would never pick up your phone in the middle of a listing appointment, would you? I mean, unless your significant other or your kids called like 4 times in a row and you knew it was like an emergency, right? Then it's like, okay, something's going down. That's an exception. But you really would never pick up your phone in the middle of a listing appointment. Why in the world then do we pick up our phone during date night? Oh, hang on, babe. Just a sec. I gotta take this. Now that's gonna fly for first couple times. It's all good. You go get that. You go get that. Yep, you go get that deal. Third, fourth, fifth time. Are they gonna start to feel like a priority? No. They're gonna feel like they're down at the bottom of the totem pole. If you want things to remain like alive and well in your life, it is important for you to make space for them. You have to create your life by design rather than just letting it happen by default. If you, if I were to look at your calendar right now, would I see open for appointments? Would I see lead generation? If you're a business owner and you do not have setting appointments and being on appointments as part of your business plan and a priority in your working time, we have a problem. Because we can't be in business if we aren't profitable, and we can't be profitable if we're not setting appointments and going on appointments. But we'll put happy hour on there. We'll put lunch with the guy in the cube next to us on there. What's our priorities? If you tell me your significant other is a priority, do you have date night on your calendar? I am telling you right now, Wednesday nights do not get touched for us. Period. And everybody in our world knows it. We do not get asked to hang out on Wednesday nights. Period. Okay. Do you, if spending time with your children, do you have a cutoff time? Do you stop and have family time blocked out? Do you have appointments with your kids? How many of you go to read your kids' bedtime stories and bring your phones with you? Come on now. Set an appointment with your children. No, I'm not saying we're never going to be on our phones, but I'm saying create appointments with the things that matter to you. Because if you don't, things just slip through the cracks. So I want you to just reflect right now. And if I were to ask you right now, what are your top 3 or 4 priorities? Write them down. Is it, it's probably your job, right? Because we have to make a living. We have to work. We want to create a life. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your friendships. Maybe it's your faith. Whatever that is to you, I want you to write it down, and then I want you to really ask yourself, if I were to look at my calendar right now, would it reflect it? Don't wait for something to happen in your life to have to make that change. Look at it now. You will be amazed how much time you actually have in a day when you set appointments for the things that matter. The only reason that we say we don't have time is because we let all the other crap get in the way first. We let all the noise happen first. We don't prioritize what's the most important to us. Okay? Work by appointment. Work by appointment. Yes, Amanda, you're right. It's just like putting sand in there. Okay. Number 4, you ready, Jocelyn? Set up your expectations up front. Set expectations up front. Okay. Here is the thing. People will respect your boundaries if they know what they are. We as realtors have just taught the public, oh, I work 24 hours. Come on now. The minute you have just not worked 24 hours, oh, I answer my phone all the time. Oh, the minute you have taken more than 10 minutes to call them back, or the minute you didn't answer your phone after 10 o'clock at night, or the minute that you didn't text them after 11 o'clock or at 6 a.m., they're ticked. And who is the one that's running in chaos, always full of anxiety, always feeling like they have to be, running around like their hair on fire and treating every little thing like it's an emergency? The agent that didn't set expectations up front. Unfortunately, That's how many of us have been trained. Well, if you want to be successful in this industry, you got to be on call 24/7. You got to work every night. You got to work every weekend. No, you don't. No, you don't. You have to set proper expectations and work with the people who agree with them. What a concept. So what does that look like? Right in the consultation, which is why we do consultations. Don't ever work with someone without a consultation. If you can't get it in person, do it over Zoom. Okay? Right there. Hey, Mr. Seller. Hey, Mrs. Buyer. Blah, 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 blah. After everything is all good, just so we're on the same page, I want to let you know. My family is very important to me. My personal time is very important to me. I turn the ringer on my phone off at 8 p.m. or whatever time that is for you. You let them know. I turn the ringer off on my phone off at this time. And I turn it back on at 9 a.m. the next morning or whatever time that is for you. And I also take Sundays off, or I take Wednesdays off, or I take whatever day. When I first got into real estate, Wednesdays were my day off because I loved open houses and I needed a day for like my kids' appointments. I needed a day to like reset. So I took it off in the middle of the week. By the way, those of you that have young kids, the understanding in my home was, I'm going to go back to the work by appointment only. The understanding was, I know I'm not a 9 to 5er, but I never, ever, ever missed any of my kids' events. Those went on my calendar first. I worked around them. Back to setting expectations up front. You just let them know. I turn my ringer off, not my phone off. I turn my ringer off after 8 p.m. I turn it back on after 9 a.m. I take this day off. Now, obviously, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, there might be an emergency. Now, that's obviously not the norm, but in real estate, there are deadlines. Here's what I consider an emergency. Let them know. An offer deadline. I won't let you miss out on a home. I will not let you miss a home. Right? A contingency. Oh, time sensitive negotiation. But rest assured, I'm many steps ahead of these. But if something urgent does happen outside of these hours, text me and I will respond at my earliest convenience. Then flip it. Now, what are your expectations of me? How can I be a 10 out of 10 agent for you? Okay. ask yourself and journal on this. Where can I set a new standard? Where in my business can I set a new standard? Where in my business do I need to clearly set expectations? People will respect your boundaries. They just don't know what they are. And by the way, if they text you at 11 o'clock at night and you respond, you've just let them know that texting at 11 o'clock at night is totally acceptable. People treat you how you teach them to. They don't know that it's an issue for you because we've taught the public to believe that we're on call 24/7, that that's what we signed up for, right? Okay. All right. Ready for number 5? Be the expert for your ideal client. Be the expert for your ideal client. What do I mean by that? Stop trying to appeal to everybody. Okay? When we try to appeal to everyone in our marketing, on our social media, in our value proposition, we really end up appealing and talking to no one. We end up talking to no one because no one's getting a clear message from you. No one is getting a clear message from you, okay? So you have to first know, who is my ideal client? A lot of times the way to answer that is, where am I at in my life? Like if I'm 25, chances are I'm probably not becoming an empty nester. I don't know. Maybe, but probably not, right? So, but if I'm 25 and I am thinking about maybe buying my first home or buying my first investment property or buying a duplex and living in half or doing something like that, right? Would it make sense that my sphere of influence, you might want to be educated on that, right? Let your business grow with you. Who is your ideal client? Where do they live? What are their hobbies? How can you best serve them? No, now that doesn't mean that you don't take on other clients, but who's your ideal client specifically, right? Study the hot sheets every day. Know exactly what's going on in the market for your ideal client. Okay. Track the trends. Be the expert. Be the expert. All right. Now, the reason that this is important is because, first of all, if you, I don't know how to say this kindly, the old marketing of just solds and just listeds. And we sold 10 homes this month. If you're doing that, I'm going to beg you to stop. I'm just going to beg you to stop. First of all, it is 100% marketing to other realtors. We need to start marketing to our ideal client. We need to start telling our ideal client what we do for them. Now, if you had just listed or just sold, fine. But tell your ideal client what's in it for them, what you did for that client, why it's a win for that client. Tell the story behind it. By the way, just listed and just sold, you're a realtor. You're supposed to have just listed and just solds. Like, come on. What value does that add to your people? Nothing. It adds nothing. Can we just be real about that? Your social media pages are not for you. And it does absolutely no good to market to other realtors through your social media and to show other realtors how good you are. Your social media pages are for your ideal client. Speak to your ideal client. Are we good on that? Are we good on that? Okay. Tell stories. Tell stories. Okay. I want you to really kind of dig deep on that ideal client of yours. Where do they live? What do they care about? What are all the demographics? All the things. Okay. Number 6. Be seen. Be seen. But this is what's going to surprise you. Not be seen in the way you've been taught. Not be seen in the way you think. Go deep, not wide. Go deep, not wide. What do I mean by that? Okay. Now, a lot of agents get what we call shiny object syndrome. Who knows what I'm talking about? Yeah. That agent's doing this. That agent's doing this. That agent's doing this. Oh, that looks like a good idea. I'm going to do that. They're buying postcards. They have a billboard. They're calling expireds. Oh, they're doing social media. They're doing open houses. Oh, they're doing client events. Oh, they're doing. We try a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And so we dabble. And then we go, I already tried that. I already tried that. Everything I do just, nothing works. I already tried that. It didn't work. Oh, yeah. I sent out 100 postcards. Didn't work. Oh, yeah. I posted that one post. Didn't work. Oh, man. I did 2 open houses and nobody showed up. It didn't work. We all know what I'm talking about, don't we? Yeah. Listen, no more shiny object syndrome. All right. You have to be seen but not by going wide. Be seen by going deep. All right, so here's the solution. Instead of just trying to do everything and scratching the surface and getting shiny object syndrome, what that does is it actually makes you like a level 3 agent. And it puts you in chaos, puts you in complete chaos. Because you're like, nothing's working. I don't know what's going on. And you're trying to do everything. What I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, what do I love doing? And what am I really good at? I want you to ask yourself that first. What do I love doing and what am I really good at? Now, what do I mean by that? So you might be like, oh, Brooke, I don't know. Well, do you love being in big groups of people and do you love event planning? Or would you rather be one-on-one? Do you love networking or do you hate networking? Are you really good at social media or are you someone that hates social media? What is it that you love doing? Now, other than your sphere of influence, and we're going to talk about your sphere of influence. Believe me, we're going to talk about your sphere of influence. Anyone in my course knows we're going to talk about the sphere of influence. But I want you to really think about this. What are you good at? What do you enjoy? Because I have so many people that will say to me, Brooke, what's the best way to build a business? And my honest answer is, what are you good at? And what do you enjoy? And the reason why is because it's all about being consistent. You have to be consistent. So I want you to be able to go deep on one thing. Now think about this for a second. If you're an agent that's like, I'm trying to do everything right now, and I'm hardly scratching the surface, and I just feel like everything's not working, and you're in chaos, and you feel like you're trying to do it all. I want you to look at what you're doing and think about what are the energy suckers that I'm doing? What's sucking my energy that I cannot stand? And then I want you to look and go, what's giving me life? What do I love? Now, some of you might be like, you know what? I really love open houses. I really love throwing events. Now, hear me out for a minute. If you only focused on bringing in new business, I'm using this as an example, through open houses, and you focused on that for your business, and you kept on saying to yourself, how can I do this better? How can I go deeper on this? How can I be the agent that is known in my market for throwing the best open houses? And you start coming up with themes. You start partnering up with some allied resources. You start putting them in your newsletters. You start advertising them, several days in advance. You've got the balloons, you've got the signs, you're like the loudest and proudest open house person there. You've got the themes, you're doing the lives. You are making it an event. It's not an open house, it's an event. Like, whoo. And you do that consistently, 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 consistently because you love it. You think people will take notice? You betcha they're going to take notice. You betcha they're going to take notice. And at that point, when they take notice, does it really matter how many people come to the open house? No, because you've marketed to your whole sphere of influence with your newsletter. You've talked to everybody in your social media. Sellers are taking notice about how you take care of sellers with open houses. You're following up with everyone that's shown interest. You're marketing yourself every single day. You've got signs out all over. Agents who are trying to do open houses maybe sporadically, no, they can't touch your open house because you have done all the deep work and have gone all in on open houses. By the way, people who are looking to interview agents, go to open houses. So if you're someone who wants to like blow someone out of the water and you love open houses, I'm just using it as an example again, boom, there's your interview. Whew. Talk about being seen. On concentrating on one thing that you love. Social media. If you're like, I just love social media, and you put all of your energy into social media and you got rid of the other noise and trying to just scratch the surface, and you're like, I'm gonna do social media better than anybody. And you started taking a course on video and you started like understanding Canva and you went all in. And you understood like the schedules that work, and you understood the language that works, and you got clarity on hooks and keywords. And you could literally market to your clients and your sphere of influence in a way that no matter what, you are seen. And this is your focus. Think you'll be seen? Think people take notice? And you're actively talking to people over social media in their DMs, having conversations. Come on now. Do you see how going really deep on one thing makes you appear to be everywhere over trying to do everything? Go deep, not wide. Go deep, not wide. All right. So I want you to think about this. Reflect on this for a minute. What is one lane right now that you can just go all in on? Get rid of the shiny object syndrome. Stop worrying about what everyone else is doing. There is this misconception that you have to do everything. What I want you to do is do everything in the one thing you love. Do everything in the one thing you love doing and do it better than anybody else in your market. And before you add on another one, I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Write these down. Before I add on another way of doing business, another way of adding lead sources, ask yourself these 3 questions. Have I invested as much time as I'm willing to? Meaning, we'll go back to open houses. Let's say you do 2 a month. You go, okay, I do 24 a year. Is that the amount that I'm willing to do? Yeah, I'm not going to do any more than 24 a year. I'm not willing to do any more than 2 a month, period. Great. Okay, that's the answer. Or maybe it's no, I could do another one. All right, then let's add on another one. Let's add on 3 a month. But ask yourself that first. The second question to ask yourself before you add on another one is, have I tapped into all my resources? And resources are going to be a lot of times like things that cost money. So I'm going to use the open house as another example, or even the social media. Open houses. Do I have the themes? Do I have enough signs? Am I sending out postcards? Um, like, am I really like tapping into the resources? Maybe it's even, am I door knocking or have I invested in a dialer to do circle prospecting to let them know and invite them to my open house? That would be considered a resource. Have I tapped into all the resources available to me to create and make this the best? Whatever that looks like for you. And then the last one I want, and for social media, maybe it's like for resources, maybe it's a video editor. Right? Or it could be whatever it is that you decide. And then the last question I want you to ask yourself before you add on another one is, are my skills as sharp as they can be? Or do I need to sharpen my skills more? Are my skills as sharp as they can be, or do I need to sharpen them more? Meaning, like at open houses, how's my follow up? Do I have the right scripts to follow up with people? Am I following up with people? Am I asking for people? Am I asking people for business while they're there? Do I know my scripts for that? Right? How's my skill for that? Am I skilled on that? Or do I need to maybe seek out a mentor or some help for that? How is that? All right. Good. Okay. I mean, oh, we got some chats going on, so I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And then I'm going to get Jantel on here. I'm going to talk to Jantel for a second and just have her come on for a few minutes. Okay. Jantel, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Okay, can everyone hear Jantel? Awesome. Okay. I asked Chantel to come on, and so I'm gonna have Chantel come on, and then I also have, I know Stephanie is on, and I did see that James is here too, so he made it, so that's great too. So they'll come on in a little while as well. But I just asked Chantel to come on and share for a few minutes about her experience. I would love for you to tell people first about where you were at before joining Break Free. And these principles that I'm teaching today are not any different than what I teach in Break Free, and where you are today. So what happens if we implement what I'm teaching today?
Yeah, so where I was at, I had just left, I joined a team and I was on the team for a year and I left the team and really just kind of lost and confused and wanting to just in trying to find income, not find income, but get income for my family, me and my daughter. I was like, I'm just gonna go back to a 9 to 5. I quit. I hate doing this stuff. I'm gonna go back to a 9 to 5. Even though I really do enjoy being a real estate agent, right? I enjoy helping people. But that's where I was. I didn't want to do this any longer and I was ready to quit. And Brooke slid into my DMs, I guess, as you can say, and I typically don't answer DMs like that because I'm like, what did they have to sell me at this point, right? But we sat down and we had a conversation and I felt a connection to her. It wasn't the first time I had listened to Brooke speak, but it was the first time in like, I guess, Zoom that I actually spoke to Brooke. And yeah, I signed on from there. I said, I'm going to take this leap of faith. And hopefully this is what gets me out of this hole of get back to that 9 to 5 job, just clock in, clock out kind of thing, right? And it's been amazing because I I've had coaches in the past in real estate, and those coaches never really helped me dig deep like Brooke has helped me dig deep. I was just kind of going from transaction to transaction and looking for the next commission check kind of thing. And I was the person that sometimes would just open the door and be like, yeah, whatever, I'm going to meet you there. And that has stopped. Everything is an appointment. My kid is an appointment. And that sounds kind of crazy but she knows that I am giving her time. And now sometimes like I'll be on my cell phone scrolling while she's doing something and she's like, "Can you get off? We're here together. Get off your phone." So it's like a cool reminder and she sees what I'm doing and she's helping me, reminding me to like, "Hey mom, this is our time." Um and where I am today, I think I've grown a lot. I feel like I've changed a lot of my mindset and I'm not thinking small anymore. I'm thinking bigger. Obviously, you're going to have times where you're just like, oh my God, this is dreadful because some transactions you want to help people so bad. And then they're just sometimes don't listen until you tell them, hey, you got to listen. Um, but yeah, that's where I'm at. And it's so much easier. I connect with my SOI, my sphere of influence, a lot easier. It doesn't feel salesy. I was always the person when I first started, I was always the person that said I'm not reaching out to my sphere of influence because I hate selling things to people, but it's not about selling things to people, it's just building that relationship. So that's me in a nutshell.
Can we talk about the fact first that you are bilingual and that you did not even know that that was in particularly a gift, I guess we could say?
Yeah. So, I mean, I knew that it was a thing that people wanted, right? But I hated putting myself out there. I was like a secret bilingual agent. People in my office knew I was bilingual and they'd refer me clients, but I never really put myself out there too much on that bilingual thing. Because I was afraid of what people might think. And like if I started speaking just straight Spanish, like for example, I'm big on social media. So like if I started speaking just straight Spanish on my socials, are people going to judge me for what I'm saying or how I'm saying it? Um, and then I dug into that and I was like, you know what? I really like this the idea of doing Spanglish because I grew up in New York City, so in New York we speak Spanglish and people resonate with that and they think it's a great thing. And then I started doing my videos and my content in Spanish and people were sending me DMs. They were telling me, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. They love it." And from there I just kind of flew. I was like, "Okay, I'm going to dig into this more. I know people need it and people want it." So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The transformation that we have seen in Gentile has been night and day. When she said she was ready to quit, when she first started, she was literally ready to quit. And we all know how your energy is when you are not happy with what you're doing. Um, and I would say you even dressed different. You carried yourself different.
Yeah.
I kind of think of you as, and I've told you this, and maybe you can expand on why, that I feel like you've been our butterfly.
I mean, I honestly just think it's just like a transformation in this. I don't know. I've just embraced everything and I'm like, there were times, and I know Brooke knows this, that I kind of was like, I'm not sure if this is for me, but I'm going to embrace it. And I did. And yeah, I feel like I've just grown a lot as a person. And that was what was really big for me, was the other coaches were always just, let's look at your numbers. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what I need to do to get business, but there's just something inside of me that's just not, it's not clicking. And I wrote a letter. When you first work with Brooke, you write this letter, and I'm like, I wrote this letter 1,000 times already. But Brooke was like, no, let's go deeper. I'm like, okay, how much deeper? And I cried. I know I cried. I know Brooke cried. I, I probably shared it with my family, and they cried because they know how much I hold things in. So yeah, you have to dig so deep. And that was what I needed in a coach.
Yeah. Yeah. We think that the hard work is grind more, grind more, grind more, grind more.
Mhm.
Right. And so when we operate from the consciousness or the awareness that we're at right now, and we set a goal to go higher, to do more, we automatically just think and believe that means more work, more chaos, more time away from our family. And so sometimes we'll sabotage that, and we don't want to set a higher goal because we don't want more chaos. We don't want more work. And what Gentile has learned is that by doing the inner work, by figuring out what was stopping her and growing from the inside, she can actually do more business by being in less chaos. What did you share with us on Monday about how many clients called you by simply
Uh,
just reaching out to your sphere of influence?
Yeah, so I had just, just touching with my clients and touching with people, or people who have reached out to me in the past, some friends, family members. Um, I reached out to them because I haven't heard from them in a while, and I'm just kind of checking in on people. And they called me back. Some people waited 2 days, 3 days, and said, I'm ready to buy. And I think it was like 6 or 7 clients. I don't remember, but they're ready. They're getting pre-approved. In fact, I just got an email from my lender who said, hey, 2 of these guys are pre-approved. They're ready to hit the road. So it's really just touching people. Like when I say I didn't want to sound salesy, I didn't want to be like that car salesman that pushes you to get into a car that you know you can't afford, kind of thing. So I wanted to lead with that relationship, and it was so hard. But once I got out of my head, like, it's not about the money, it's about helping people, then it was easier to reach out to those folks.
Yeah. Yeah. When we just lead with value and put the people in front of us and say, who can I help today? Who can I help today? Makes it a
Mhm.
lot different. And so Gentile started reaching out to her sphere, started following the program, and then all of a sudden went, holy cow, Brooke, this works. And I've heard that several times, like, you implemented it, it works, right? Like I actually just get to know my sphere again and reconnect and lead with the relationship, and it starts to work. And people are asking her like, where's your lives on social media, and telling her how much they love her social media, and now calling her and giving her referrals and giving her business. So
Yeah.
she has been a light in our group. So we are very thrilled to have her. Any advice for anyone in the room, or any last minute thoughts that you would like to share?
Um, I mean, I guess the biggest thing that I've taken away is just choose yourself first, because I'm a people pleaser by, like, I've always been a people pleaser, right? Um, Choose yourself first, because if you have an empty cup, you can't pour into other people, including your clients. and your family members. But what another thing that I really want to say is embrace it. Just whatever it is, it may sound crazy. It may sound like what is Brooke getting into? What is she having me do? Just embrace it and do it. It feels uncomfortable sometimes, but just do it.
There's always a method to the madness, isn't there? You always do figure it out. Right? It always comes together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, good. Well, thank you, Gentle. You're a gem, and we love having you in our group. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. All right, good. All right. Okay. That's our sweet Gentle. She just is a light for us. We all love her. So, but we all love each other. We have a really good group, if you can't tell. We love it. It's just so great. Okay. You guys ready? Number 7. I think we went pretty deep on number 6, which was be seen but go deep, not wide. Number 7, be the connector. Be the connector. All right. So your clients and your sphere of influence expect you to be the hub, right? Not just their contract writer. So when I say be the connector, I also like for things such as if you're on a listing appointment, do you need a painter? Do you need a landscaper? Do you need a plumber? Do you need an electrician? I have the connections for all of this. And when I call, my client's name goes at the top. Okay. Any service provider in your area, you've got out of town buyers coming in. How amazing would it be to give them a book of this is everyone I use in my area? Even if it's your hairdresser, your gym, your dentist, right? Be the connector. Build a network of aligned providers. This will help your business in so many ways. In so many ways. For instance, everybody that you connect with goes in your sphere of influence. They could be possible clients. Okay. You also want to make sure that you are actively networking with who you are referring. That looks like this. Hi, so-and-so. Whether you use them or not. Do you have the ability to take on new clients? Why would we ask that? How many times do we call a contractor or call a landscaper, call a painter, and we need something done? And they're like, yeah, I'm 6 months out. Yeah, that's not fun to give your clients a name and have them say that. Okay. Or you call an electrician for a few GFIs and the electrician calls you and says, don't ever give me a job that's not a full house rewire. You want to know what they want, what they like. Right? Do you have the ability to take on new clients? You want to know that. You also want to know, do they believe it's a two-way street? Maybe you'll have the ability to earn their referrals. A lot of times we as realtors just have this assumption that everyone we refer is just going to refer us back. Now, come on. If you are using a lender, how many other agents are using that same lender? If you're using an inspector, how many other agents are using an inspector? That same inspector. Now, there are people that are our allied resources that we use time and time and time again for our business. But there are also people in our areas that we might not refer much, but we can put them definitely in our booklet. And when our clients or sphere of influence needs somebody, that we can absolutely refer. You also then position yourself as the community expert. Why wouldn't you partner up with someone in the community for client events? Help them pay for them. Showcase one of their businesses on social media. Go live with them and interview them. Add value to them. How much value would they feel that you added to them if you interviewed them live on social media? Hello, what happens? That gets shared on their page too. You are known as a connector. When you're known as a connector and the community expert, it's a great reason to stay in touch with your sphere of influence without having to be like, do you know of anyone looking to buy or sell? If you're in the know, you know how many times people have called me and asked me, who do you use for an accountant? Brooke, do you have a referral for like a cleaning person? Random stuff. If you are in the know and you position yourself as a connector, your phone rings. Why would they spend all the time looking up reviews, looking up all the information when they have one person that they can call and say, who do you know? By the way, they vetted them. Their core values are in alignment with mine. I know if Brooke recommends me, I get put at the top of the list. Brooke already knows like who to refer me for what, because different lenders offer different types of loans. Different people in the trades prefer to do different types of projects. You should know this. Anyone ever get a few quotes on something? On a project in the home? You can tell real quick what contractor doesn't want the job. Ooh, the one that's 6 times more than everyone else and 8 months out, they don't want the job. Refer them to people that you've already vetted. Be the connector. Have them come to you. Okay. Here's the biggie. Number 8. Lead with the relationship. This is the biggie. Lead with the relationship. There are 2 areas of your database that are the most important. Your entire database is not created equal. There are two areas of your database that are the most important. The first most important is what I would call your sphere of influence. Your sphere of influence are the people who know you, like you, trust you, and have the ability to use and refer you. You're in relationship with them. You're in relationship with them. The second most important part of your database is your sales pipeline. Now, when someone has raised their hand and said, yes, I'm looking to buy or sell or invest within the next 12 months, they get put into the sales pipeline. Then you are their real estate expert. You are their agent. Lead with the sale. Lead with the sale. They've asked you to represent them. They've asked you. Your sphere of influence, the people who know you, like you, trust you, and have the ability to use and refer your services. And we all know that we put people in our database that we don't really know, that we don't really like, that we don't know why we put them in there. We're just going to send them our newsletter and our holiday stuff. Am I the only one? Okay. Separate your database. Sphere of influence, sales pipeline. Sphere of influence is most important, sales pipeline. Okay. Lead it with the relationship. People go, I just don't want to be salesy, Brooke. I don't want to call everyone I know. Then don't be. Don't be salesy. It's kind of like grandma's got you on the calendar for your birthday, right? Grandma remembered. You are deciding, I want to be in relationship with these people. These are the people you actively want to be in relationship with them. Okay. Now, how do we do that? First of all, don't ever have a list of your like VIP people, your sphere of influence, more than 100. Sometimes we think we have to have so many people. Again, we're going deep, not wide, deep. Now, I'm not talking about your entire database. I'm talking about your sphere of influence. I want you to go really deep with them. How do we do that? Create what's called like a VIP questionnaire or a favorite people questionnaire. All right. When you do that, let me see. Let me see if mine will open. I have an example. All right, let me see if this will share. Can you see that? Give me a thumbs up if you can. Okay, here's an example of one. When you do this, and by the way, those of you that are in my break free right now, you will be introduced to the CRM that we've been promising you tomorrow. Josh will be showing you that tomorrow. And this will be fillable for everybody that you send it to. And also you will also have reminders. So this is coming from us very soon with the CRM that we're developing. And anyone in my break free gets it for free in the time that you're with me. So this is coming very, very soon. But what you do, create a favorite people questionnaire or a VIP questionnaire and ask them, hey, I'd like to get to know you better. Tell me your birthday. Tell me your spouse's birthday. Tell me your kid's birthday. Tell me your anniversary, your favorite non-alcoholic drink, your favorite alcoholic drink, your favorite restaurant, your favorite junk food. Where do you work? And then tell me, do you like coffee? Do you like tea? Do you like flowers? What do you like? This is an example. All right. Now, when you share that with them, and then you also give this like a VIP questionnaire to all of your clients that you meet with during your consultation and have them fill it out. I want you to think about this for a minute. How many times do kids get birthday cards in the mail? And I'm talking birthday cards, not with your logo, real birthday cards. I don't want to lead with a relationship. Then stop sending your sphere stuff with your logo on it. Stop putting your business cards and stuff to your sphere. They know you're a realtor. Lead with the relationship. Don't do that. Send the kids a birthday card. You see something that they're celebrating, you already know their favorite alcoholic drink, or you already know their favorite restaurant, send them a personalized gift card or send them a gift basket to make their drink. How cool is it if you know their birthday? Don't just say happy birthday. If their favorite junk food is Snickers, grab a whole bag of Snickers. It costs you less than $5 and drop it off at their place of employment. Let them share it with their coworkers. Whoa! Talk about blow them away. My realtor doesn't do that. You haven't bought a house in 6 months. Wait, you never even bought a house from her. I know. But I refer. I'm in her club. Well, I want to be in that club. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I also want you to think about this. If you give this at your consultations, there are times that we have to deliver bad news. There are times that we've made 2, 3, 4 offers for buyers, and we have not gotten it. And they're upset. These people are under contract with you. If the average sale price nationwide is roughly around $300,000. Now, I don't know what you charge for commission, but let's just say it's 3%. They are going to write you a check one way or another at that closing table for $9,000. And they are devastated. You just had to deliver bad news for the 3rd or 4th time. You think it might take the edge off of a little bit if you go, listen, I know this is awful. I made you a reservation. I know your favorite restaurant is Ruth Chris. And I'm emailing you right now a $200 gift card. Go have dinner on me. They're gonna buy from you. You have the information. At that point, it's really not a good idea to be like, what can I do for you? Where do you like to eat? You already have it. Take care of it. Just do it. What about this? You're showing homes. homes. You've got 5, 6 homes that you're showing. They filled this out for you. You know that they love Diet Coke and a payday. You just show them 2 homes and you just happen to have their favorite candy bar and their favorite drink in the back seat of your car. You think that might blow them out of the water a little bit? Set you apart? This is how we lead with the relationship. Lead with the relationship. Always. People want to feel like they are the most important person in your world. Make them feel that way. This is how. Remember the small things. You have a little cheat sheet to remember them. Set reminders on their big dates, on their anniversary. You know their anniversary. Hey, Josh, just calling to let you know you got your wedding anniversary in 3 days. I don't know if you knew this or not, or if you remembered, but Brooke's favorite wine is whatever, and her favorite restaurant is Ruth Chris. You want me to call and make a reservation for you? Yes, thank you for saving me. I'm calling, I'm making a reservation, I'm telling the hostess, tell them desserts on me. Huge win. That's leading with the relationship. It's those little things. You have this, you set the reminders. Good? Would that set you apart? You see how this really, really gets, people will go, my clients go, oh my gosh, this works. Yes, it works. I am telling you, I built my team and we were in the top 1% year after year after year, and I never, ever bought an online lead. We built it with relationships. This is how. It works, but you have to work it intentionally. They go, yeah, how do you remember everything? I have a system. But I care about you. That's how. Okay, let me get James and Stephanie on here for a minute. Hi, guys.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. James, are you, there you are.
Yep,
You are not together. Are you, but you're in the same house?
we're in the
Yeah,
same
I'm
house.
downstairs.
Okay, cool. All right. So I'm gonna have you guys just talk for a few minutes and tell the group this. James and Stephanie, this is kind of a funny thing, you guys. James and Stephanie are a married couple. James has been a client of mine for several years. Stephanie is, I don't want to say a newer client because you're really not newer anymore, but newer than James.
Mhm.
And they are affiliates of the real estate industry, not actual realtors. Affiliates. James
Yep.
James has been my inspector for over 10 years.
Absolutely.
I don't know if anyone's in West Michigan. I don't actually even think anyone here is in West Michigan, but if you are, James is Jeffrey. James is the best inspector by far. Not kidding. I'm not kidding. So I would just love for you to let the people in the room know a little bit about where you were when you started. Hi, Kimberly. And where you're at now.
Well, honey, would you like to go or would you like me to go?
You can go ahead.
Okay. So I would have to say the relationship that I have with Brooke probably started back when I was just becoming an inspector. And I know it's been over 10, 12 years, something like that now. And during that time, you know, I was an inspector. I worked for another company. And over time, I grew into my own role and life took me in the path of starting my own business. So I went out, started my own business. I was very fortunate enough to have my wife. She was in a corporate job, so we had some backup. And I pulled the strings and quit my job and said we're starting a company. And then COVID hit. So bam, it nails me, nails everything I wanted to do. I left a 100+ job, and I'm like, okay, well, what we're gonna do? And so we just sat down and stuck with it and worked through it. And then a year or two later, I ended up going to Brooke and started our coaching sessions. And coaching, I think, is a little light for what I believe I experienced with Brooke. It's basically, to me, it was a life altering experience, from everything from personal, emotional, any aspect that would bring tears to your eyes, joy, smiles, everything was brought up during that process. And talking and listening to you guys go through, a couple of things that really pointed out to me were, some of the issues that I remember going and fighting through. I was great at my job. I knew what to do out in the field, but I didn't have the confidence. I did not have the path, the direction in order to make that work for me in my situation. And I wrote down a couple of different things that kept on coming to my mind that were haunting me for years, until I was able to break through, pardon the pun, with Brooke on this. And it really affected my life, my business, and personal, in a way that I cannot change. But I couldn't accept compliments. I was running off a fear base. I did not have value in what I knew I was, but I did not show it. Nor I would always discount or do things at crazy hours or 10 hours, whatever the case was. It was a way of life for me at that time. I didn't know any different. And then throughout the process, this really made me grow as an adult, spiritually, mentally. And finally, throughout this process of all the ups and downs, the work, and not to mention, my meeting with Brooke has to be on Friday at 7 a.m. So, it was definitely something there that you want to promote, and you have to have faith and that goal. And my goal was to be exactly everything you were discussing, for being home with my family, to be able to know your worth, to be able to have a good core group of people, have time for my family, the relationship with my family and kids. And throughout the process, I was able to improve every aspect of that. And I think the biggest overcome that I've been able to achieve is having my wife come to the company and leave her corporate job. Now she's here putting all her power in, of course, what she's gaining from Brooke as well. Both of us now are super powerhouses, and it's something there that it's amazing. Now my wife is home, she's happy, I'm happy, our family's happy. Even, everybody's noticing, smiles on faces a lot more with the kids and grandparents. So, it's been a journey, and it will always be a journey. And every time you think that, okay, I'm doing good, you like, what are you thinking about today? As you know, when you sit down and have a meeting, it's like, okay, what are your blessings, what are you thankful for today? And you're like, well, let me think about it. And it really puts your mind in that aspect. And then you go through it, and it's a experience. Whether sometimes we didn't even talk about business, it was talking about your weekend or what hits you. But I'm talking, you got to go deep, you got to get involved, put your faith into it, do your homework. Because I'm a big guy, I'm a strong guy, but right now I feel tingles through my body. And just recapping some of the emotional things that I've gone through, it's very emotional, but it's very big, very huge blessing that I received. So once again, thank you to my wife. Thank you for Brooke for coaching me through everything. And we'll definitely continue. And I don't know if you got to see the little intro that we did, but Josh, you're coming up next, buddy. So get ready.
Stephanie, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I guess I kind of forgot the question was. So how we started how we started working together.
Where were you before? Where are you
Where
now?
was Yeah, so I was working in corporate for 13 years. I had climbed the ladder, I had checked all the boxes. My job was easy to me, which in some ways like created this mindset like I don't have any skills. Like I was so jealous of James, like he's a home inspector, like he's got his like box to fit into. Like what can I do other than just like go somewhere else? But I know that's not going to make me happy. I want to work for myself. And then it just, I guess, like dawned on me one day, like, well, duh, I could do like what I'm doing here that I'm so good at for our own business. And so that's when I decided to take the leap because I was just so unhappy. And I had talked to James. I'm like, well, maybe I'll like book a meeting with Brooke, like,
Mhm.
and he's like, oh, that's amazing. So he was super supportive, which helped me kind of get out of my comfort zone and invest in myself, and start doing coaching with Brooke. And that was about a year ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I
And
started last August, and here I am now. I left the corporate world at the end of July, and not looking back.
no, not looking back. That was the number one goal that we had set for them when Stephanie came on board with coaching. And it was it was done.
Mhm.
Well, we set so many goals that we achieved them, and we're keep on growing, and it's just amazing. And like I said, I can't thank you enough, Brooke.
No, it's my pleasure. You guys are coachable, which is the number one thing, right? You got to be coachable if you want to grow. And so, James and Stephanie have just been amazing again, like just grown so much. Like James said, he had gone from being an inspector on with another like team, I guess you could say, kind of like being like going from like a buyer agent to being a solo agent in some ways, and then now growing your own team. Um, and in the beginning, we worked a lot on the doing. We worked a lot on how do I do? What do I do? What are the processes? And um, getting systems in place for him. And then it kind of evolved into he wanted to grow, but he knew that he couldn't grow his business at the same awareness that he was at with getting into it. And so we actually had to literally transform his identity from I'm an inspector to I'm a badass CEO,
$1 million James.
$1 million James, $1 million James. And we have transformed his identity through the work. And here he is right now with his wife at home and building this incredible business. And it's just getting the better it gets, the better it gets.
And you need everything. And one of the good things is I remember when we first started, I had the shiny object syndrome, and I was all gung ho. I'm gonna paint over and Underwood and get the wrap around the trucks, and we're gonna have all the fine shiny stuff. And she's like, time out. Is that going to make you money, or where are you going to make money and where are you going to grow? So it was a complete start over from the beginning, and the guidance is exactly what I needed.
You guys are an absolute joy. Just absolutely love having you as clients in my world. So thank you for
Thank
being a
you.
part of it. Appreciate
Well,
it.
thank you.
Any final words you want to say?
This is kind of what someone said earlier. I guess like just getting comfortable with being uncomfortable at times. And I think that is what got me over the hump. So,
Yeah.
I have to say one thing is the biggest thing I used to have to deal with is if I was taking time off from my family or doing something other than work, I felt guilty, and I did not feel that, or the phone didn't ring. I was like, "Am I doing something wrong?" But I kept to my plan, and you lose the fear, and it all works out. You just have to have faith.
Gotta have that faith. And you do. And now look,
That's
it's a
happening.
lot different when you don't work out of fear. A lot of us work from fear. And James started working from fear. There's a lot of fear that we had to uncover under there, and a lot of fear that we weren't even aware of at first until it started coming out, right?
Yep.
Um, and so that's what we mean by doing the hard work, uncovering the parts that you don't want to go to. But once you do, and you can just become aware of it and understand what you're working from, and understand, do I need to work from that fear? Is that the truth? And you can change that story. James has changed his story. Now he is not full of anxiety. He's not taking a vacation with his family and feeling guilt about it. He's not worried about losing clients because he steps away from the business. He's working with clients who are in alignment with him and love the fact that he takes time away with his family. So it's a totally different mentality because he's changed the identity. He does not work as an employee anymore. He works as a CEO and he runs his business as such, which is really beautiful. So thanks, you guys. Appreciate you both.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. All right. Okay. Everybody ready? 3:00, but I got just 2 more for you. Hang in with her. Hang in there with me. Okay. All right. We're on number 9. Number 9, treat your referrals like gold. Treat the people who refer you like absolute gold. Now, in our world, we obviously can't be like, give me a referral and I'll exchange this for you. We know we can't do that, okay? But when you do get a referral, make sure that you make it the biggest deal that has ever come across your table. You have to think about this for a minute. On average, most adults know between 7 and 8 realtors. Everybody and their cousin has held a real estate license. Let's just be real about that, right? Because it's easy to get a real estate license. It's not easy to build a real estate business. But on average, most adults know between 7 and 8 realtors. But when they're put under pressure, they can typically only name 1 or 2. So when they refer you, it's a big deal. They thought of you first. Now, I want you to think about what your average commission is. I don't care who pays the commission, seller, buyer, one way or another, that client is paying that commission. And the person that referred you just said, call her, call him. Does your thank you warrant that? Think about that. Journal on that for a second. Does your thank you that you've been giving to the people who refer you, is it in alignment with how big of a deal it actually is? Now, the people who are referring you are probably in your sphere of influence. Could we get a VIP questionnaire on them? Could we do something that's really meaningful to them? Could we give them a big shout out? Maybe we have a VIP referral party at the end of the year. I don't know, whatever it is for you. But just make sure that you're treating the people who are referring you like absolute gold. This is not to be taken for granted. The things you appreciate, write this down. The things you appreciate, appreciate. The things you appreciate, appreciate. So if you want more referrals, appreciate the people who are referring you. Appreciate them and appreciate them hugely. This is not to be taken lightly. We should never just think, oh, they should refer me because they're family. Oh, they should refer me and get mad because people don't refer us. That is what happens a lot. We spend more energy getting mad about the people that don't refer us than we put into thanking the people who do. What we appreciate appreciates, and what you focus on expands. So make sure you're focused on the right thing. Put your energy towards what you want. If you want more referrals, you put your energy into the people who are referring you. Okay? All right. And the last and final one, number 10. Grow every single day. Every single day, do something to grow. There is absolutely no way that you can get to where you want to go with the same consciousness that got you to where you are. It cannot happen. The only way it will is by doing more, which simply gives you more chaos, more time away from your family, more stress, more guilt, more anxiety. Grow. It's exactly what you heard Chantel, Stephanie, and James talk about. You never heard them say, I did more and I worked 80-hour weeks, so my business turned around. No. You heard them say, I did the inside work. I went deep within. I grew. I discovered some things about myself. I grew. I was willing to go there. And in turn, my business turned around. In turn, my personal life got better. Grow every day. I've always said the day I stop growing is just going to be the day I don't wake up. That's the truth. Listen to podcasts, pick up a book, have lunch with somebody buy someone a coffee that has a business that you desire. But whatever it is, you have to make sure that you're growing if you want to succeed in this business. There's just no other way. There's absolutely no other way. The quit rate in this business is 87% in the first 5 years. 87% of people quit in the first 5 years of getting their real estate license. Why? Because no one taught them how to build a business. It's easy to get a license. You've got to grow. You have to be coachable, teachable, have an open mind. Maybe come into it thinking and being aware, I might not know everything. I've been in this industry 15 years. I've been on a personal growth journey since I was 27. I still have a coach. I'll always have a coach. There will always be somebody that I can learn from. I still get up at 5:30 every morning. to read and journal. Ask Josh. When we got married, he was like, whoa, like you really do this. I'm like, what, you thought I was lying to you? Like, yes, I really do this. Grow. That's number 10. I want you to think about it for a minute. Do we have the same 24 hours in a day as Bill Gates? Do you have the same 24 hours as the top producer in your market? We all have the same amount of time. So what's the only difference? The way we think. That's it. The way we think. So if you want different results, you gotta grow. That's inside. Not do more. Grow. Okay? All right. Okay. 10 power moves. 10 power moves. Put in the chat for me, which one of these are you going to implement right away? Which one of these power moves are you going to implement right away into your business? We've got work with the qualified, have a no jerks policy, work by appointment only, set your expectations up front, be the expert for your ideal client, be seen, but not with shiny object syndrome, go deep, not wide, be the connector, lead with relationships, treat your referrals like gold, and grow every day. Yes, 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 yes. Work with the qualified. Good, good, good. Love it. So good, you guys. Commit. Write a contract with yourself today that you're going to do this. That you're going to really, 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 Janie, I love it. Be seen, girl. Yes. You know I'm celebrating that. You know I'm celebrating that with you. Absolutely. Okay. Before we go, I want to let you know on a couple of things. Okay. I promised you that I would give you a break-free code for $500 off of Break Free. Never done that before. Okay. Joshua, I'm going to need you to put that code in there because I did not write it down. Hopefully you have. This code is going to be good for a week. So we have made it for a while, but that's because of the Labor Day weekend. Okay. So $500 off of our Break Free program. That includes even if you decide to do a payment plan. All right. Break Free is our 12-week program. I think Josh put a link into what that is for you. It's our 12-week program. We meet on Wednesdays or on Mondays and Thursdays. And you also do get an onboarding call with me and 2 one-on-ones as well. By the way, you can ask any person in my group. I am not untouchable. If you need me, you get me. So that is my biggest promise. Like those are scheduled one-on-ones, but I have never ever told somebody I'm too busy to meet with you. Never. I have been a coach for over 6 years. I've been in this industry for over 15, but our business, we say, is in the toddler stages right now, which means I'm not successful if my clients aren't successful. I am all in on my clients, all in. You have me fully right now. Fully. I don't know how, I mean, I don't know if that will last forever. I would love to keep it, and I will branch off more courses and more classes to keep myself available fully. But right now you have me fully. Okay? The classes will start on September 8th, Monday, September 8th. And the reason why is because that allows me next week to be able to do discovery calls with some of you that might still have questions. That if you want to schedule a discovery call with me, we can get on a Zoom, have a 15, 30-minute chat. I can answer your questions. We can discuss if Break Free is a good fit for you. Okay. So I have not been paying close attention to the chat, but I'm trusting Josh probably put a link to schedule a discovery call with me due to the holiday weekend. If that is something that you want to do, grab your call now. Like, go to the link right now and grab it. Okay. We'll do a discovery call. We'll see if Break Free is a good fit for you. All right. Does anybody have any questions for me? If so, feel free to just raise your hand or unmute yourself. And if not, I'll stay on. If you do have a question, I will stay on for a couple of minutes. And if you don't have a question, I appreciate all of you being here. And I'm so grateful that you were. And I hope that you got a lot of value out of today's call. And I would love to see some of you in Break Free, where we go really deep on a lot of this stuff and see a total transformation in many of you. So let me know how I can be of any assistance to any of you. Okay. So if you have a question, I'll stay on for a second. And if you don't, we'll take off and go sell some homes.
Brooke, I have a question.
Yes. Hi,
Okay,
Robert. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are
Oh,
you?
it's so good to see you.
Yes, yes. I've signed up for the course already. My September is nasty looking already because of things I've committed to. Can I start in October?
Yes, 100%. Josh, can you make a note for that?
I was messaging with him earlier, and
Okay.
I'm gonna sign up now because it commits me to free up my October.
I'm so excited. Oh, I'm looking forward to having you in there. Perfect. And you're committed. Way to
Yeah, yeah.
commit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I knew it's gonna force me to because I said I'd start in September.
Perfect. And now you're going to do it in October. So September is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, just like I'm going on a client trip this weekend. I've got two more scheduled in September, and some of them are taking me out of the country. And I'm like, between that and balancing the business I have, like, is it realistic to take on coaching?
Okay.
No. But October, I tend to ground myself in town because of all the parties I get invited to. But I'm like, well, that keeps me from being out of sorts from travel.
Perfect.
So.
October it is, my friend. That's when we start.
All right. Well, then you should see I already signed up.
I love it. Congratulations on taking a chance on yourself.
All right. Thank you.
I love
And
that.
Robert, you'll see an email come from me.
Okay.
You'll see an email come from me with all this stuff, and then we'll get you going, and then we'll just set your start date for October.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. We'll get you all sorted out. We got you.
All right. Thank you. I
All
appreciate
right.
it.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Robert.
All right. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Anyone else have any questions or need anything from me at all? Tanya Williams. Where are you, girl? You gonna show me your face? I don't know if I can see her. She must not be on right now. All right. Okay, everyone. Bob, thanks for being on. I don't know if you're still on or not, but I want to wave and give you a shout out and say hi to you too. So thank you, everyone, for being on. Great to see you. Have a great day.